It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we have a beer from Thailand to show you, and this is their Chang classic beer. It's in a 320 milliliter bottle, 5% ABV, green glass, and got a bit of a story to say about this beer, really. We'll, first and foremost, we'll get it open, get it out into a glass, see what we get. It's not a personal story. It's not like I've been to Thailand. I'd love to go to Thailand for a whole number of reasons, including to try and drink, not try, but drink some of their beer. Little bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. Give it a bit of a swirl, give it a bit of a rigorous pour, because it didn't really want to offer up much of a head. Very, very small, one finger white head, good levels of carbonation. It's a straw coloured lager beer. This style of beer literally kind of made its way all the way around the world, didn't it? Everybody started brewing this. When did Chang Classic start? They normally have a date if they're a really old brewery. I mean, it's one of those situations. I'll probably review the beer and then take a little look on Wikipedia once I'm done reviewing it, of course. Once I'm done reviewing it, go and drink the rest of the beer looking on Wikipedia. But there you go. Yeah, this is beer that's synonymous with the world over, really. You can go to any country in the world, well, probably 90% of countries in the world, and they will produce a straw-coloured lager of this description, I imagine. Aroma. Little bit of skunkiness in here, but I quite like it at the same time. It's got that light, crisp, summer, I suppose, summer aromas to it. Smells very hoppy. They've added a lot of hops to this beer. You can almost smell that bitterness coming through. I'm going to hold off with the spicy pepperiness because there's a few of you commenting in the comments box getting a bit fed up with that phrase. So, I'll hold off on that. It smells bitter. I'll use bitterness instead of the spicy pepperiness. Yeah, but it smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Ooh, I'm going to start off by saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with this beer. This beer is just, and that's the word, I suppose, just generic lager. It's almost as if the world settled on a lager recipe and every single country kind of just gets as close as they can to producing this as light as you can, highly carbonated. If it's in a green glass bottle, slightly skunky. If I got time to cover skunkiness, I will in a moment. It's a combination of maize malt and maybe some rice, maybe corn. So the cheapest ingredients they can really get their hands on, really, to produce sugars, which then of course produces alcohol. That's what it's all about with these beers. How cheap can we produce it? Can we hold on to at least a little bit of quality? And this is where my kind of story comes into it. I used to be a big Everton fan years ago. I used to follow them like massively. Big Everton fan. And Chang, they're one of these companies that they really tried to get a foothold in the UK market. They sponsored the Everton football shirt. They really tried to push this beer and make it into the UK, but they never did. They never did. Sometimes I think there's a lot of luck involved. Like, have a look at, like, I remember 2002 World Cup when Asahi was, never heard of it in the UK, and they kept on pushing. In the end, Asahi getting into the UK was, I mean, they really wanted that piece of the pie, so they bought Fuller's Brewery, and without doing that, without like buying up large slices of the British brewing market, these companies would never really get a foothold in, because then of course once you buy Fuller's, you can put Asahi in every single one of the Fuller's pubs, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're selling great volumes of beer. Some companies like Chang, for instance, from Thailand, not as strategic. I suppose a lot of it isn't luck. A lot of it is business sense. If you look at beers like Cobra, they're very synonymous with kind of Indian restaurants, and they made it because of that very reason. But Chang, for me, I mean, if you're in a Thai restaurant, perhaps then you're going to be buying Chang, perhaps they're going to stock Chang. But for me, that great effort, that great push to make it into the UK market never really worked. It never really worked. It was always like a beer on the sidelines. I've never seen it in supermarkets. I've never seen it in major supermarkets. I don't think I've ever even seen it in places like Home Bargains. Never really seen it there either. If you have, let me know in the comments box. But you see it in places like maybe world food markets, world food places, shops. You might find a bottle of Chang in there. And that's as far as they've managed to get this beer. And I'm not really surprised, because, like I said, you could buy a bottle of Cobra, you could buy a bottle of Kingfisher, you could buy an Asahi, you can buy an Ichiban, San Miguel, Heineken. It's all in that kind of like same vein. It's not offering up any kind of difference over another world beer. So rating. Skunkiness. Skunkiness is when the light from the sun and the supermarket shelves, the UV lights, affects that green glass, or it gets through that green glass and it affects the beer. It affects the hops in the beer. The hops stop tasting floral and lovely. They start tasting a bit skunky. And you get a little bit of that here. So, rating for Chang. Head's dissipated quite quickly. It's, you want to like it more. You want to like beers like this more. It had a better aroma than it did the taste. I'm going to say 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. I hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.